Hello, everyone. This is Angelique Renee, holistic beauty expert and licensed esthetician, and I have my dear friend Allie here with me tonight.
Hi.
And I'm coming to you from Orlando, Florida. My friend Allie is out in Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs, yes.
Yeah, and we wanted to just tune in tonight. We've started our holiday beauty series, and it was really important to us to keep our segments very short, sweet, and to the point. So that way we can serve and support others in having the most successful holiday season, just looking and feeling their best, because quite frankly, rather than just waiting until you get through the holidays and feeling miserable after you've indulged and done all the wrong things, we're like, let's get ahead of it and let's actually give people some tips and tricks and secrets and hacks and all the things that will support them through the holiday season, and you'll get a head start on being your best self in the next year.
Absolutely. And I think just real briefly, I'm going to keep it very short. Both Angelique and I do have weight loss and health journeys. Through my 30s, I just battled my weight and low energy and depression. And I had tried every diet under the sun. And it was the same cycle. It was like I would lose 10, 15 pounds, I'd get bored or like hit plateau and then just go back to my old ways. I had this all or nothing mentality. And it kind of came to a head for me when I was 39. And I was like, I do not want my 40s to look like my 30s. And that's when I really just decided I don't want to have a life that I regret. I don't want to be on this roller coaster. And it's just really when I decided to make a commitment and just really live that life that we're designed to live and not get off that roller coaster and just for once and for all, just really be healthy. And you're kind of the same way, right, Angelique?
Absolutely. I actually, it was a lifestyle change, and it's, for you, it was 39. For me, I hit the wall at like 35, and I have diabetes. It runs on both sides of my family. And I noticed that my parents were diagnosed in half of the time as my grandparents, and they were overweight in their 30s and already starting down the road of taking a bunch of medication. And I identified the link to the food, the packaged foods, the fast foods, that was just the era that they grew up in. And I knew I needed to be preventative. So as my weight started to balloon, I was in the most stressful period of my life. I had a very stressful career, a very stressful marriage, all kinds of things that were contributing to what I was experiencing. And it all just came to a head. And I was like, I am too young to look and feel this old. And so it really started with me having a re-education on my food, my intake, even how I shop, how to read the ingredients on the labels of my food. And I became so passionate about it back then that I started actually even facilitating dietary education at that time. But we go through these cycles and patterns and these life events. And so you kind of get over the hump with something, and then things start to creep back in. You start to kind of backslide a little bit. And that's the great thing about education, is you always have it, and at least you know how to start over or where to start. But with each decade of life, your body recalibrates and it gets a little different. But we wanted to just share tonight just some really simple tips and tricks to get you through the holiday season that could really support you when it comes to your stress, your nutrition, and just how you approach everything, so you can be very intentional about how you want to experience things. And I always hate the whole new year, new you. It's like, why don't we start the healthy habits before that?
And if we can just think about nourishing and loving our body instead of the punishment, right? The excessive, the starvation, the restrictions, all of that just gives a mindset of punishment. So to integrate these 5 simple steps that can just keep you going through the holiday season and at least not gaining. If we can just get through the holiday Thanksgiving into Christmas and at least be where you are at instead of 5 or 10 pounds, all the inflammation and all the bloating. So our first kind of magic step was water, right, Angelique? Like getting enough water in every single day.
Absolutely. So water is one of those things that's critically important, but let's talk about how you weave that in throughout the day. Whenever you are waking up first thing in the morning, you really should go ahead and drink a nice big glass of room temperature or even warm water. If you can add lemon to it,
I do
that
that
is
every morning, glass of warm lemon water. And it really, it calms me and I can just feel how good it feels.
yeah, and from a physical standpoint, it helps to clean the liver, the blood, the kidneys, and kickstart your digestive process. So if you can get that in first thing in the morning, that just sets you up for success throughout the day.
And I am not a natural water drinker. Like it took me until I had to I have to actually think about it every day. So I have this is 25 ounces. My goal is 100 to 125 ounces. Now, if you're a very petite person, I believe, like if you can at least if you are a 100-pound person, if you can get 50 ounces, that's awesome. But I go for a little more because I just know how hard I run and I am a taller person. So I can definitely, I go for the 100 ounces. So I just kind of know in my mind, I need to get 2 of these done before, by lunch. And then, I set it on my desk and I then can visually see. I know I've even seen those large cups, right? That have like, you can almost have your day's worth in there and then make sure you have it done by the end of the day. So whatever trick you need.
Yeah, and what's funny is for me, I don't know about you, but I actually drink a lot faster if I have a straw. Now,
There you
in
go.
the beauty world, we're like, we don't want the fine lines and wrinkles around our mouth, but I for some reason, it just goes down much faster with a straw. But you do, it is a myth that everybody needs a gallon of water because depending on your size and your weight, that may not
Exactly.
hold true. You don't want to deplete your electrolytes. But, if you could even, before you go out to your holiday parties, if you could get in a nice big, glass of water before you go out to your holiday parties, that's going to help support you. And then when you are out and about, instead of just grabbing the glass of wine or whatever, if you are going to have adult beverages, if you can have your alcohol in, your seltzer water or something like that, and then make sure you're alternating with water. I
Right.
guarantee you're going to feel better tomorrow and you're going to stay hydrated, and it really reduces the amount of the unnecessary sugar that you're going to get from the adult beverages as well.
And it seems like such a simple tip, but I've tried it out. And when I've been not intentional, I notice by the end of the day, when I've not drank my proper amount of water, I have more hunger, I have more cravings,
Mhm.
and I don't have the energy. So it really does make a difference. So water was number one.
Well, also, let me add real quick,
Sure.
a lot of people eat when they're dehydrated. They
Yes.
think that they're hungry, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's actually dehydration. And it's funny
Yes.
because as an esthetician, when they come in, where I can always tell if people have been out whining and dining. We have this little area right here that gets really sunken and like, it kind of
Yes.
crinkled,
I
becomes
can
more
see it in
pronounced
my face.
under
I
the
mean, I
eyes.
can see my face when I don't have my hydration. It looks
Yeah.
duller. I just, you really can tell your skin, everything is affected. And people always say, well, can I drink like unsweet tea? I just really feel like the best is water. And if you need it room temperature or through a straw or whatever little tricks you need to get it down, you have to kind of find what works for you.
Well, and drinking unsweet tea, it is a diuretic. So it is going to cause you to flush your hydration. And brisk tea, like if you are going out to fast food restaurants and stuff like that, typically it's poor quality. It's going to be highly acidic, which can cause inflammation in the body. I typically see it in my skin. If I go out to a dinner and I drink a bunch of iced tea, like my face gets inflamed, so be from the acidity. So stick to the water. It's much
Water. Now we have our next thing we wanted to share was our whole food meal replacement.
better.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Angelique?
Yeah, so we live in a time now where we have so many quality products on the market, and if what the difference is between a protein shake and a whole food meal replacement is you're going to get in your greens, you're going to get in things like sweet potato, spinach, kale, spirulina, chlorella, reishi mushroom, all these different things that are actually superfoods and packed with nutrition. And I know for me, especially if I start out my day that way and get my whole food nutrition in before I start my day, I am far less likely to snack and binge in the
Absolutely.
evenings, because I don't know about you, but I am a person that I could go I could fast like early in the day, but the moment that I eat and my hunger gets triggered, next thing you know, like I'm looking in the pantry later in the evening. I'm like, opening the fridge, looking in the pantry. But if I can get in my whole food nutrition,
Right.
then I don't indulge as much. I'm not, scavenging for food later in the
Absolutely.
night.
And to just touch on the fact that our food supply is getting full less and less nutrition, less vitamins, less minerals. They did a study in UCLA. This was in the 90s. So like how old the study is, that a bowl of spinach in the 50s was all you needed for your daily supply of iron. And then it showed that you needed like, it was a crazy amount, 50
Now
bowls.
it's like 40 bowls of spinach
It was
because we're not composting the soil. They're just throwing some phosphates and some fertilizer on there. And it's just not as nutritionally dense with all the trace minerals like it used to be.
And definitely we need to be eating. I am not someone that's like, oh, just drink like artificial things and not eat real food. We need the real food, but to at least have for one meal or even your snack, that you're getting your complete profile in for the day. So, and just make, yes.
I was going to say, if you're going to a party that's going to have all kinds of snacks and foods and goodies and stuff like that, if you can get in your home food replacement shake before you actually go to the party, you're going to be more satiated. So that way you're less likely to just load up on all the naughty stuff when you're going through the line at, somebody's holiday party.
Which leads us right into, Angelique, our next one was quality snacks. We had that as kind of our third tips and trick to not gaining weight. And I think that's so important because I know there's so many times, do you all know what it feels like when you're starving, you're stuck, you're out and about and you don't have anything. And there's so many times I remember being at the airport and I had to scour for this tiny little Cobb salad. So it is difficult at times to find things. So to have healthy snacks, like you mentioned, almonds and different things like that in your purse.
Yeah, and I'm particular too about getting like raw almonds and then soaking them in the fridge overnight in water, drain it off, soak it again, because it actually helps to remove the enzymes that our bodies tend to be resistant to, which creates inflammation in the body. So you want to make sure you're not just grabbing a pack that's like loaded with salt, because typically it's going to be table salt, not the good kind of salt, that's going to actually cause water retention. But yeah, good quality almonds are good. I love having like just little protein snacks. We have some really great protein snacks that I love that are like rolled oat and peanut butter and stuff like that. So I know at least I'm getting some protein in. And again, then I'm less likely to reach for the naughty stuff that I shouldn't be eating later on.
Exactly. And we kind of tied in the quality snacks also into like those smaller meals.
Yeah.
Where, if you've ever heard of kind of like, when you get your plate, just kind of divide it in half right out of the gate. And kind of, if you can even have an extra plate and just divide what you're given for your meal in half and kind of box. I've even heard of people that box it up. And if you don't want to ask for a box, you can just kind of put it out of reach, but to just kind of divide in half right out of the gate so that and eat slow, because it takes a while for our brain to process when we've had enough to eat. So when we eat fast, we may eat past the point of being full and we don't even realize it. And then we feel stuffed.
Absolutely. I think it's the Japanese, they have a particular technique where they do the 50% or just only eating until satisfied, not until actually full. But, we go out to restaurants now. I'm sure that you notice how large these portions are. My daughter and I, we share a dish nowadays when we go out. And I'm like, I really wish actually they would make it smaller and then charge us less. But, sharing really kind of helps us with that. But I also like to let people know if you really want to be mindful about how to set up your plate, because at my clinic I do body sculpting, but I don't onboard anybody without doing the coaching on the food substitutions and the things that are actually going to support them, gut balancing, things like that. So I tell them in its simplest form, your plate should be 3/4 veggies and plant-based, and then have a small portion of lean protein. And that's the simplest and the easiest way, because of course, when I'm doing body sculpting, they have to stay away from fruit and sugars and everything for a certain time frame, so we don't refill those fat cells we're trying to collapse. Inflammation rushes in and water retention, and then it just kind of undoes, the treatments that we're doing. So the simplest and easiest way, 3/4 plants and veggies, and then your lean protein.
And then that was kind of one of our bullet points, was to choose plant-based foods over sugar, and how to set up our plate, and then get moving, right? Like, just even if you don't have time in the holiday season to, make a formal trip to the gym, or, your normal sessions or classes get disrupted, just be intentional about getting out for a walk.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know sometimes in Florida, it's a little tricky because it has been raining like all year long here. It's been so crazy. And it goes from being hot and rainy to then it kind of got cold and rainy yesterday. So, sometimes it can be a challenge, but, the simplest and easiest way, especially if I have clients that have like achy joints, or they're struggling with their weight, it's not about rigorous, but you do want to make sure you are getting your heart rate up. You do want to make sure that you're breathing. Deep breathing helps oxygenate the body. It helps promote healing. It helps just with the circulatory system. I always joke, I heard one time 100% of doctors, they agree that breathing is essential to life. So, but it also even helps with your nutritional uptake and everything too. So it's about being present and intentional. And when you're doing that and you're walking and you're breathing and all those things, it actually will help you with your stress level too. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm an emotional eater. So all the things that I can do to support me with like stress management really helps to reduce, again, me ending up in the cupboard later and just kind of mindlessly snacking and eating on things,
Yeah. Which this might be a good time to kind of wrap into how even doing just like a mini kind of reset focused, 7-day, Angelique and I have our favorite reset that we love to do. And it's just 7 days, and doing that even between Thanksgiving and Christmas is a great way to just take off everything, refocus. And it's a nourishing, support the body, usher out some toxins. And we didn't really, talk a lot about that, but many times we hold on to extra weight because the body's protecting itself from toxins. So to be able to, and even if we're eating healthy, healthy greens and things like that, that is going to support the body to detox. But when we're eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of sugars, a lot of things like that, that is, that is really what can make the body kind of acidic. We have someone that says, ordered my 7-day reset. Awesome. Yes.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. That's
yes,
so
here it is. I was just going to show it. If anybody's
it's such a beautiful package too. We're so in love with it.
And it's such a nourishing and fun experience. It's almost like a spa reset, but it's at home. And there are some amazing deals going right now. So
yeah, let me tell you what I love about this set is so much is that you're going to have your whole food replacement, but you have things there that are going to help with the cleansing and with helping to support the nervous system, because going through the holidays can be stressful, especially depending on what type of work you do, what type of family you have, and family dynamics. There's a lot of contributing factors that can increase our stress levels, our cortisol, trigger us to emotionally eat and things like that. So, and then you're going to have your little snacks to throw in your purse and carry with you too. So it is going to support you for success in getting through this holiday season.
Angelique and I kind of talked to, just to give everyone a chance, if we wanted to have a group thing, we were going to do our 7-day on December 5th is kind of when we are going to, and you don't have to follow us on that, but it'll be 7 days that we kind of do posting tips, tricks, and we kind of all work together. And it's really fun to just see everyone's results, because who can't do something for 7 days? Right. And like we said, it's not going to be torture at all. It's a nourishing, you're going to feel your stress just melt away, and you're going to feel amazing for all those little parties, your little black dress parties, and all those good things that are, as we get closer to Christmas. So was there anything else we wanted to cover? If anyone has questions, That's awesome.
Fantastic. We would love to have you, Therese. I can't wait to meet you, and I'd love to reach out to you personally so we can talk more. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And it's like the more the merrier. I actually work better with an accountability partner
I
and
do too.
sharing. We get all excited, and now there's this amazing. The Black Friday specials are already here, so bring in your friends, your girlfriends, and you guys can
Yes.
pitch in on orders for both
And
those specials.
you have a way, because probably everyone that's on here, you have their emails, right, Angelique?
Yes.
So you can
Yep.
reach out to them that way, but feel free. We can even, if you want our numbers or how to reach us, we would love to connect with you, answer questions. And, we love to do this as a supportive community. And,
I'm buying some to give as gifts.
I know. So, well, thanks for joining
Share
us.
the health.
Have a blessed evening. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And you guys have a fantastic day. If you know anybody that would be interested to see this, also let us know. We're happy to send out the link to the replay as well.
Yes. Take care.
All
Bye.
right. You guys have a great evening. Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.